There's a reason life feels heavy right now. Not because you're failing, but because something inside you is shifting. You think you're behind. You think everyone else has figured out a path you somehow missed. But what if the delay is not a punishment? What if it's preparation? What if everything you're walking through is quietly shaping you for a life you're not yet strong enough to carry? Would you still feel behind if you knew you were being built for more?
There's a moment in every person's life when they look around and wonder why everything is taking so long, why their breakthrough hasn't arrived, why doors seem to open for everyone else while they're stuck in the same quiet, uncertain place. If you've ever felt that, this message is for you. Because the truth is, you're not behind, you're not forgotten, you're not late. You are being prepared in ways you cannot yet see. Life has a way of slowing you down right before it accelerates you. It puts you in seasons where nothing seems to move on the outside, while everything is transforming on the inside. This season isn't a pause, it's a forging, a shaping, a refining. You may feel like you're standing still, but your character, your resilience, your clarity, your emotional strength, they are all being rebuilt from the ground up. And you can't rush that process, no matter how desperately you want to. Maybe right now, you're learning patience because the future you're heading into requires calm under pressure. Maybe you're learning emotional discipline because the opportunities coming will demand it. Maybe you're facing rejection because the next chapter needs you, unafraid of losing what was never meant for you. Every delay is a lesson. Every closed door is a redirection. Every silent season is preparation disguised as stillness. And here's the part no one tells you. Preparation feels like being left behind until the moment your path becomes clear. So if you feel lost, if you feel slow, if you feel late, remember this: the version of you that will thrive in the life you're praying for is being built right now through every challenge, every pause, every unanswered question. You aren't behind. You're exactly where you need to be for who you're becoming. What if the wait is the very thing shaping the person who will never break again? There comes a point when you start questioning everything: your pace, your progress, your worth. You look at your life and wonder why you're still fighting the same battles, why the results haven't shown up yet, why it feels like everyone else is moving faster. But here's the truth most people never realize. Your journey isn't slow, it's intentional. Life is shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for a future that requires a version of you that doesn't crumble under pressure. Think about it. Every setback you've endured has taught you something you couldn't have learned any other way. Every delay has forced you to develop patience, emotional endurance, and discipline. Every disappointment has cleared people, environments, or identities that would have held you back from where you're actually meant to go. You're not behind, you're being aligned. And yes, preparation feels unfair. It feels like watching others sprint while you're stuck stretching. It feels like praying into silence. It feels like rebuilding parts of yourself no one else even sees. But what if this is the moment before everything shifts? What if life is preparing you not for where you were, but for where you're about to go? You're developing strength you didn't know you needed, clarity you didn't have before, and emotional resilience that will carry you through the storms ahead. You're in the foundation stage, the phase no one celebrates because it's quiet, unseen, and unglamorous. But foundations are what hold up skyscrapers. Preparation is what turns ordinary people into unstoppable ones. The version of you being built right now is stronger than your doubts, wiser than your past, and more capable than your fear wants you to believe. What if the very place you're questioning is the place your future self will thank you for?
There's something no one tells you about seasons of preparation. They feel like abandonment. You pray and nothing moves. You try, and nothing shifts. You push forward, and life pushes harder. But what if the resistance isn't a barrier? It's training. What if every "not yet" is strengthening the muscles of your character so you can carry the weight of what you've been asking for? Preparation often happens in silence because growth happens where the world can't see it. Roots grow underground long before a tree ever breaks the surface. And you, right now, are growing roots, deep ones, stable ones, the kind that keep you grounded when the storms come, the kind that allow you to rise higher without collapsing under the pressure of your own potential. You're being taught patience, so success doesn't make you reckless. You're being taught resilience, so criticism doesn't break you. You're being taught self-respect, so you stop tying your worth to outcomes. You're being taught discernment, so you no longer open the door to what drains you. Nothing is being wasted. Not the pain, not the waiting, not the confusion. Every piece of it is forming the person who will recognize the opportunity when it arrives. Because unprepared people don't just miss their blessings, they sabotage them. And the shift you're stepping into won't require the old you. It won't require the you who doubts your voice, questions your value, or clings to what hurts just because it's familiar. Preparation is removing everything you've outgrown, so you have space to become who you were meant to be. What if the delay is actually the protection that guarantees your future? There comes a moment, quiet, subtle, almost unnoticeable, when everything inside you begins to shift. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you do. You stop waiting for signs. You stop begging for permission. You stop apologizing for wanting more. And for the first time, you realize that the delay you hated was the very thing shaping you into someone unstoppable. It happens on an ordinary day. A thought you've had 1,000 times suddenly lands differently. A fear that once controlled you loses its grip. A dream you buried begins to breathe again. And you understand, not with your mind, but with your spirit, that nothing was taken from you. It was clearing the space for something bigger. This is the moment preparation reveals its purpose. You see that the relationships that fell apart had to fall apart. The opportunities that slipped away were never yours to hold. The seasons of loneliness were actually seasons of alignment. And the person you were becoming needed every ounce of this journey, even the parts that broke you. Because now you're not fragile. Now you're not searching for validation. Now you're not led by fear. Now you're not trying to fit into a life you already outgrew. You're stepping into a chapter that only the prepared version of you could survive, much less thrive in. And suddenly the timing makes sense. The waiting makes sense. You make sense. This is your turning point, the moment you stop seeing yourself as behind and begin seeing yourself as chosen. Chosen for a path that requires strength, depth, patience, and clarity. Chosen to build something that lasts. Chosen to rise in the way the old you never could. What if everything that broke you was actually positioning you? There will come a day, sooner than you think, when you look back at this season with a kind of awe. Not because it was easy, not because you would ever want to relive it, but because you'll finally see what it was building inside you. You'll see that the nights you cried alone weren't signs of weakness. They were the moments your spirit strengthened in silence. You'll see that the disappointments that felt like punishment were actually divine protection. You'll see that the delay you resented was the doorway to a future you weren't ready to hold.
And the truth will hit you with quiet force. You were never behind. You were being positioned. You were being sharpened. You were being shaped into someone capable of carrying the life you once prayed for. This is your becoming. This is your preparation. This is your rise starting in the dark before the world ever sees the light. So don't rush this moment. Don't curse the timing. Don't compare your pace to anyone else's. Your path is different because your purpose is different. And the world will feel the impact of the person you're becoming, not someday, not eventually, but soon. You are not behind. You're being aligned, refined, and prepared for everything you were meant to rise into. And when that moment arrives, you won't just step forward. You'll step into a life that finally fits the magnitude of who you are. If this message met you where you are, stay with me. Subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the like button. Not for the algorithm, but to remind yourself you're not behind. Your rise is already in motion.